Mickey, anybody who thinks there's no skill and it's not fair chase hunting deer using deer drives as the method, I mean, they've never done it.
Exactly. I hear that question and I automatically know, well, they haven't done it themselves.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It actually is one of the most coordinated, one of the most difficult to execute hunting methods that I know of. Because like you say, it's not just you have to worry about. And I know you were the hunt master on your places in Iowa. And you have to put together the strategy for everybody and be sure that they do what they're supposed to do.
In a timely fashion. In Iowa, you got 5 days.
Yeah.
You got a 5-day season.
Yeah.
And that's another reason I love deer drives, is because you can get out there in the middle of the day when the deer aren't naturally moving by stand hunting and take action, get
forced
creative.
movement.
Yeah, forced movement.
Forced movement.
And we kill a lot of midday bucks because of deer drives.
Exactly.
And we wouldn't kill them any other way.
Exactly. What's the hardest part about it?
Coordinating all those people. You got all those moving parts and getting the blockers into position undetected, which means that we don't start out the morning with a deer drive.
Yeah.
You can't get 12 guys into position in the dark before shooting light without scaring every deer in the county. You know?
Exactly.
And so it's only a midday thing for us. And
you
we
hunt
stand
early
in the mornings and evenings.
Yeah, you stand. And people don't realize the knowledge that you have to have of the land for where what drive you're going to pick, what block of woods, what area you're going to pick to drive, how you're going to get your standers in, where you're going to put them, and what the deer are going to do in response to the pressure that's being put on.
Exactly.
You got to know the land.
Yeah. You have to know the topography.
Yeah.
And having history driving that property previously is, experience is the key.
It is. But Mickey, you know that even though that buck was shot here doing this last year, does that mean he's going to be shot there?
No. Oh, no.
Not at all.
Now you have traditional blocking areas that are, year after year are good. And our guys fight to get into those positions.
But you always have surprises, don't you?
Yeah.
On mature bucks.
In fact, the majority of our drives are unsuccessful.
Yeah, exactly.
And one reason is we're targeting fully mature bucks.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're letting a lot of young bucks, middle-aged bucks run past.
Whole different animal too.
Yeah.
Now, how many of the deer that are killed, how many are shot by drivers versus standers? Mature bucks.
For most of our drives now, the drivers aren't carrying a firearm.
Okay.
For safety
reasons. Okay.
Yeah, so it's only the blockers that are doing the shooting for the most part. But going back 10 years ago when everybody was carrying a gun, we would occasionally get a buck killed by a driver. I mean, that happened maybe 25, 30% of the time.
Especially when the shooting starts, sometimes those bucks turn back,
It happened time after time after time that getting the blockers into position, they spook the deer the opposite direction you want to go, and they're coming back past the drivers.
Yeah, exactly,
Because it's hard to get to your position undetected.
Well, and I own Burnt Pine, we had a week season after Christmas to hunt, and I dedicated that whole week to shooting does. And the only way you can kill 300 does, we were having to kill 200 or 300 does back then. We had 15,000 acres, so we were having to kill a lot of does. The only way you can kill those does in that period of time was deer drives, because the pressure would put them down. It'd make them almost impossible to kill.
The Midwest would not achieve their necessary deer harvest on an annual basis without drive hunting during the shotgun season. And in Iowa and most other Midwestern states, shotgun deer hunters generally are less selective. They're killing a higher percentage of does, and those guys are needed out there to reduce the deer density.
They are. It has a place in hunting, and it's one of the most enjoyable things that you can do because everybody participates. It's kind of like going on a dove shoot, everybody's a part of it.
One guy's successful, the whole party's successful.
The whole party's successful, and sharing the excitement. And what is it like having big bucks coming, or little bucks, deer coming at you, and you hear that running through the leaves coming? Is that exciting or what?
Nothing matches it. I've hunted deer with every legal weapon in multiple states, and there's nothing more exciting to me than blocking on a deer drive where you're expecting to see a monster buck come bolting through the timber. Nothing matches that excitement.
And if you're a driver and you hear those shots,
can't wait to get
there.
See what they killed.
If you hadn't tried it, I'm gonna tell you, deer drives are flat fun, but they're not easy. Killing big bucks on a deer drive, that is a challenge. You got to know what you're doing, and somebody has to be in charge. The hunt master is critical. Somebody has to be the general, or otherwise it's not going to be safe or successful. I love deer drives. Can't wait to do it again. I got to come to Iowa. That looked like fun, I'm going to tell you.